What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Copy Narrates. And today we are reading more Reddit stories from the r/relationships subreddit. So let's get into today's first story, shall we? And today's first story comes from T-Sky. My girlfriend, 35 female, cheated on me, broke up with me, 35 male, and now says she is afraid I will stop talking to her. Really? She is? I'm so surprised. I spent the better part of my life with this woman. I was loyal, honest, kind, and did everything to make sure she was happy. She cheated on me throughout our relationship, apologized multiple times, and I've always forgiven her. Wow. I've always knew this was a massive mistake, but I developed feelings for her, and I couldn't leave, even though, in hindsight, that would have saved me so much heartache and trouble. She decided to break up with me recently after cheating again, and it not working out for her. Even though I was heartbroken, I've accepted it and decided to move on. Anytime I stop communicating with her, she has a freak out and begins sending me tons of messages and tons of emails, phone calls, and messages on everything, non-stop. She tells me she made a mistake by breaking up with me, and that she loves me, only to just take it back once I talk to her. She cries and tells me how she is afraid I will just leave and ghost her, even though she has no interest in being together, asking me to promise her that I will always talk to her. She has ghosted me multiple times in the past when she cheated, only to apologize and say she made a mistake. I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm in a never-ending nightmare. All I want to do is heal. She hints at being back together, only to be called afterwards, as if she didn't say anything. What do I do? Anytime I talk to her, I'm reminded of the relationship she no longer wants, and it hurts even more. TLDR, I feel like I'm stuck in a nightmare, in a never-ending loop emotionally. My ex won't stop contacting me because she's afraid I will ghost her. She says she can't imagine not talking to me. Holy monka. That was, hard to read. We're gonna go straight to this comment, which sums everything up. You know what to do. Block her on everything and go no contact. You can't heal without distance. And someone replies to that. Exactly, she's keeping him holding on to false hope and a backup plan. If you love, respect someone, that's not how you treat them. She's ensuring when the new guy doesn't work out, OP will be on standby for her, allowing cheating, leaving, coming back. OP revealed he'll allow anything, will tolerate being used. And someone says, this, but before you block her, contact her in writing that you do not want any further contact. If she contacts you, it will be considered harassment. This is necessarily if she continues and you want to pursue a restraining order. And I agree. Like, Oppie, you need to block this woman. You need to get this person out of your life. You need to move on and find somebody else who wants to be with you. Because this ain't it. This ain't it at all. Let me know, guys, what you think about this one. This one's wild. I feel like OP just has been so used to letting themselves get walked on by this person that they can't set up healthy boundaries. And I think the first step with that is obviously blocking them on everything and starting to distance themselves and actually setting boundaries and moving on. Let me know what you guys think. Our next story comes from IDD. Boyfriend lied by omission and went out with a woman he met on a dating app. Oh boy, this should be good. I, 35 female, feel confused. I don't feel great. My boyfriend, 40 male, always texts me at night and in the morning, and they're always friendly and loving. Last night I texted him when I got home from a dinner with a female friend I had told him about. He didn't respond for over an hour, half an hour, and it was very clear, and it was a very matter-of-fact short response. I then conversationally asked what restaurant he went to. Again, just a short clipped response. Didn't say who he was there with. He usually does. No follow-up text later to say goodnight. No niceties. Odd. My intuition told me something was weird. In the morning, I asked how his night was and who he went with. He names a woman I've never heard of. I asked where he knows her from. He says he met her years ago on a dating app, but they're just friends, and says, I'm not cheating on you, I love you. Mind you, all I had said at this point is, oh, I haven't heard of this friend. Long story short, he ends up telling me he felt like I would think it was weird. Didn't want me to feel weird, so purposely didn't tell me so I wouldn't feel that way. I.e., he lied by omission. I want to believe him, and I guess I believe he didn't cheat. But he still doesn't explain his sharp responses to me. At the end of the day, he was out with a woman, late night drinking, and made the choice not to tell me. Also, I know he told me when I asked, but I had to ask more than one clarifying question. He didn't volunteer that she was from a dating app, and he admitted that he wouldn't have told me if I didn't ask. I feel lied to, not a priority, and my feelings are hurt. Is this a red flag? Do you think it's indicative that he's lied about other things and is a cheater? TLDR, boyfriend lied by omission and went out with a woman he met on a dating app years ago. Wait, OP, you said you had to ask follow-up questions. But, wait, what? You said you had to ask follow-up questions, but you initially said in the post that you asked who he went with, and he named the woman, and that he said that they met years ago on a dating app, but they're just friends. And it says that I'm not cheating on you, I love you. And then he says, mind you, all I had said at this point is, oh, I haven't heard of this friend. But then you go on in the same post to say that you had to make him tell you that she was from a dating app and that he wasn't going to tell you. I'm confused. Is anyone else confused? I'm going to go with the second comment because this one makes the more sense. Out of these ones, some of them are a bit weird. And it's a bit confusing because of the pause, it doesn't make sense, sort of. But Abu Ali Express one says, definitely a red flag and you have every reason to be suspicious of him. Wouldn't say he's a cheater yet, but you have good reason not to trust him for now. I feel like I agree with this one because he didn't tell you that he was going out with a woman. Weird if he normally tells you this stuff. But he did tell you in the morning exactly what happened. But your post is kind of confusing. I don't know whether first part's correct where you say that he told you that he went out with this woman and who her name was and that she was from the dating app and she was just a friend. Or whether it's the second part where you say he wouldn't tell you who it was and that you had to pry it out of him. I'm a bit confused. From this situation, it's hard to tell whether he's a cheater, but it's definitely something I wouldn't trust him over if he just didn't tell you. He should have told you before he went out with this woman, right? So, I don't know, have a conversation with him about this. But you've got to sort of decide as well, OP, like, it's clear you don't trust him, right? It doesn't matter whether he is or isn't a cheater if you don't trust him. If you don't trust him, then it might be worth considering whether you want to be in a relationship with him, because whether he is or isn't a cheater is kind of irrelevant if he's going to make you feel a certain kind of way, right? And if it's going to make you feel on edge and worry about if he's cheating or not, then maybe it's not worth sticking with them, right? Maybe it's better finding someone else to stick with. Let me know what you guys think about this one down below, guys. I know the post was a bit confusing in the middle, but do you think that OP should stick with this guy, or do you think, like, the lack of trust is enough on its own where OP's, she's wondering if he's a cheater or not? Maybe that's enough of obstacle, a red flag that they should split. Our next story comes from Throwaway Salmon Fisher. Fiancé is always critiquing my family. So I, female 25, fiancé, male 25, is always critiquing my family. Backstory on his family is that his dad worked for the railroad and got a great pension. His mum married him while also working for the railroad for some time. 18-year age difference between the two. Stopped working to take care of their kids together, and then started working for a vet clinic part-time once the kids got old enough. So his parents are pretty rich and live in $1 million home. His mum worked in the railroad for some time, but then banked on his dad's income once they had kids. Sorry, what? Yeah, just read that right. But then banked on his dad's income once they had kids. And, OP says that their fiancé is criticising their family, and she says that about his mum. Okay. This is going to be a doozy, isn't it, guys? My mum is a single parent. She married a nice guy, my dad, and had 3 kids. Then the nice guy turned into a narcissistic alcoholic that was abusive every day. Okay, so she didn't marry a nice guy. She married an abusive alcoholic, okay? He's now deceased. My dad worked at the Chicago Board of Trade in the city, so we were able to afford to design and build our own home in a beautiful estate. My mum didn't work as she was a full-time stay-at-home mum with 4 kids. My older sister was from a different dad. We even went to a private school for years. Since my dad became violent, my mum left him. But she also left with severe PTSD, and the judge failed us on getting child support payments. This story's just getting weirder. We decided to move to a different country, my mum's home country, England, and ended up living there for 7 years. I can't remember what she did for work for the first couple of years, but when we moved house again, she did start working at a home store. She also got social security income from my dad's death, so she had dual income almost. We decided to move back to the USA. We moved in with my dad's parents with an agreement that we would renovate their house as we lived there. Since I turned 18, my SSI went away for her, but I've been working ever since we got back to the US because I wanted a car and things like that. My brother is still under 18, so she still gets income for him. She doesn't work either and hasn't worked for a few years. Ever since we got back from the US, I never really questioned why. She has her own car though, but so do I. My fiancé has been saying when we move out, your mum isn't moving in with us. Or so how does your mum make her money again? Or your mum hasn't set herself up well for retirement at all. And he keeps going on about my mum's financial situation and how his parents set up for retirement. His dad got into the railroad early. His mum married his dad while they were in the railroad, etc, etc. With them having such a huge age gap, it feels like his mum just married rich and called it a day. But I'd never say that to his face, obviously. He also says things like, if we let your mum live with us for a few weeks, it'll turn into a few months. Then she'll start buying decorations to go in our kitchen. If that happens, I'm drop kicking whatever she sets down in our home that looks like it's staying long term. The thing is, he's had this conversation with me at least 10 times now. I agreed. He keeps repeating himself every 2 business weeks with the same crap, and I'm just tired of hearing him blast my mum on repeat after I already agreed the first time. Advice. I did not. I also told my mum that my fiancé and I just want to live together and live our own lives together. So it's not like she has the wrong idea. I also told my fiancé that I talked to her about it, yet he still keeps going on about the same crap every so often. He's seriously fixated on my mum's financial situation and is overtly nosy about it. He's also mad at me that I forgot to ask him how work was today. Also, for any skeptics out there that are questioning if his parents really are rich or are just middle class, his parents said they'll fork over 10 grand to go towards my fiancé's house. They also have 3 Harley Davidsons, built themselves an in-ground pool, own a Winnebago, blah blah blah. TLDR, my fiancé's parents are rich. His mom and dad met in the railroad and married each other with an 18-year age difference. Had some kids. Then his mom quit working and became a stay-at-home mom while his dad kept working. They're basically millionaires now because of his dad's retirement. My mum married an abusive dude who was my dad, but before he was abusive, he worked in a trade centre and made all the bucks. She left him for being abusive and we moved away. She got SSI once he died. He doesn't work. Fiancé is comparing his parents to my mom, saying that she isn't allowed to move in with us ever. How he doesn't like that she isn't working. He's always asking me about her financial situation, and I don't even know the answer to any of it, etc. He repeatedly brings the same things up every 2 weeks. Advice. OP, you say he's critiquing your family, but I think your fiancé has valid concerns here. Like, where the hell's your mum getting money from if it isn't from SSI? And like, of course he doesn't want your mum living with him. That's why he's repeatedly bringing up this boundary. And how can you, OP, not know where your mum's getting money from? How is she affording rent? And how would she get a car? How is she affording to do groceries and to feed you all and everything? What? And you also say that your boyfriend's like rich and a millionaire or something? But his parents are only giving him 10 grand towards a new house? Like what? They're already giving him 10 grand towards a new house. This is so weird. Like, I don't know about this post, guys. Like, they both seem to have serious issues here. Like, I understand the fiancé's perspective, right? He's 25, right? And he's getting married to OP. And OP's mom doesn't have a job. Doesn't have any way of supporting herself by the looks of it. OP doesn't even know how... OP's 25 and doesn't even know how a mum makes money. That's kind of creepy. Actually, now the more I think about it, the more no wonder the fiancé keeps asking questions. Wow, that is super weird. Okay guys, think about it this way. He's asked his girlfriend, obviously, fiancé, OP has. The OP's fiancé has obviously asked her a bunch of times, how is your mum making money? Where's your mum getting money from? And OP just goes, I don't know. And Dave's like, so how's your mum make money again? And Opie's like, oh, I don't know how she makes money. She just has a lot of it. Also, Opie says in this post that the judge failed them on child support, right? For, like, the dad passed away. Like, Opie's mum split with the dad, right? Because he was abusive. And then she says, like, they went to court for child support and the judge didn't grant her child support. I don't know of anywhere that wouldn't grant the mother of a child child support from the father anywhere unless that person wasn't the father. I've never ever heard of a single mom, right, who doesn't have a job, who has a dependent child, not receiving child support from the father that's working. That makes zero sense at all. I'm so confused. I feel like Opie should do the fiancé a favour in this one and leave him. Or at least I think the fiancé should do himself a favour in this one and leave Opie, because this whole situation with the mum is like super weird and super sus. Like, I don't know. Moving on. Our next story comes from Smooth Calligrapher 2. TLDR, my husband said he wasn't attracted to me due to weight gain. Now I've lost the weight, the sex hasn't increased. Hi all, I need some advice. I'll break it down for you and be as brief as I can with the details. Sorry in advance for blabbering. I've been with my husband for around 8 years, married 5, and around 1 year and a half ago, admitted when pushed that he was basically not attracted to me due to my weight gain. He said he had felt like this for 2 years, but didn't want to hurt me as I could not do much about the recent weight gain due to having a baby, gaining a lot of baby weight. 6 months after having a baby, I got underactive thyroid disease, undiagnosed for a few weeks, which caused excessive weight gain during that period until medicated. I have an underactive thyroid, so I know that feeling, OP. And found out similar time that I also had PCOS, already had 1 ovary removed emergency due to cyst rupturing. Another nightmare for hormonal weight gain. Long story short, he only told me this info after pressing him for a long time, and also after I had booked to have a bariatric surgery abroad, gastric sleeve. I had no idea he felt like this before I booked it, and I booked it for me because I wasn't happy with the way I looked. I need some help to lose the gained weight. My weight was bad for me, the heaviest I had ever been. My BMI was around 38.5. I did look different, and I was aware of the new shape I had become. I have always been a curvy, a UK size 14 to 15 throughout the years, but not this overweight. I'm 5'7". I was stuck in a limbo of hating him for the harsh truths he told me. You kinda made him tell you, OP, but then also trying not to hate him because he was honest and open with me. Annoyingly though, only after 2 years of thinking everything was okay. So he lied, but he did it to protect my feelings. So it was so hard to not hate him for hurting my feelings, but appreciating the harsh truth which he was correct about. Opie, did you want him to tell you how he felt or not? He said he still loved me, but was less attracted to me due to my weight gain. I understand attraction and love a different kettles of fish, now thanks to Reddit. So it's hard overall, but managed to get over how hurt I felt with the truth. I posted about this before on Reddit and got an overall understanding of both sides and felt better about it. So, that was sorted. Anyways, 1.5 years down the line, 7 stone weight loss, things have changed again, and I really need help with what to do now. Since this has happened, my body has dramatically changed. I've gone down to a size 8 and my BMI is 21-ish and I'm around 10 stone. I am more confident within my own body as I have never been this small in my adult life. I now finally like the way I look, even though I still, in my head, point out my blemishes. I am dressing differently on nights out and I'm getting attention from people I don't know on nights out more than I ever had. Yeah, at home I am not getting any more sex than before when I was bigger. He never seems to want me at all. I just don't get it. The problem with the reduced sex life when I was bigger was apparently because he was less attracted to me. Yet now I've lost all the weight, the sex hasn't increased at all. I just do not get it at all. We've been to couples counselling and that was okay for a while, but not much else has happened after that. We even did our own one-on-one counselling too, around 6 months back. I just feel bad every time I go on a night out. I think I'm getting attention from random blokes who would love to shag me, but my own husband can't be bothered. In a nutshell, I'm 100% faithful as I am married. I love my husband, but it's still hard. When I was younger, I'm 29 now. Other half is 34. I was more like a size 12, 14, but my friends were size 6 and 8, and I always had boyfriends. I never got any attention at all, and always tried to hide my body on nights out, so I have never experienced the attention before, and it's very confidence boosting, but also like dangling a carrot I can never eat. He totally believed in monogamy, which I understand. I've mentioned threesomes or open relationships. Oh dear God. Just to put it out there, but he said if I ever slept with anyone else, the marriage would be over and there is no going back. Whether it's cheating or threesomes, etc. I've never cheated, just to make that clear. Also, the other night, I mentioned getting a tummy tuck, and he calls me vain, which is so confusing because I'm trying to make my body even more attractive for him. Doing for me too, but why call me vain? He knows how hard it's been for this journey. I do not act vain at all, but just one mention of a tummy tuck he says that. I just don't know what to do. I don't know how this will improve. I thought losing the weight after everything would help us, not hinder us in our relationship. But it's like it's even worse than before. I don't know if he's annoyed that I've lost weight now, or because I'm more confident in my body than I have ever been. Is he resentful? I asked my male friend at work, oh my God, about this all, and he really doesn't understand why my husband is like this. I need answers, please help. Happy to give more details in the comments as I tried to be brief. TLDR, husband wasn't attracted to me after I gained weight due to medical issues. I have now lost 7 stone and the sex hasn't improved. And there is a comment down here that's relevant. You need to have a frank discussion with your husband. He may be having problems and blaming you is the easy way out of explaining his lack of sexual urges. You may need to face, even though you love him, your marriage is over. But here's some comments. And OP replies to that with, yes, I think that's a good idea. We've had these chats before, but he just says he feels pressured every time I bring it up that he doesn't want sex because of the pressure. So it just goes round and round, and I still end up with no sex. And I think that answers the problem on this one. Like, okay, it's very, very clear that OP has, apparently, a high sex drive, and her husband has a lower sex drive. And then OP wants to have sex, and she keeps pressuring her husband for sex. And then that stresses him out, and he doesn't want to have sex, because it ruins the mood, and he's not into it. So he just feels like he's constantly getting hounded, and it just exacerbates the problem of him not being in the mood anymore. And I don't think there's exactly a fix for this, I say. Like, except going back to couples counselling. You need to go back to couples counselling. Like, it's not okay for you to pressure him like this. Oh God, I'm just trying to imagine. Oh God, this isn't even going to bring any sympathy either, is it? Right, if the roles were reversed, if this was a guy doing this to a girl, to a woman, right? You'd all be raging and mad and like livid that this guy was pressuring this woman for sex, right? But because it's OP doing it to a husband, there's nobody questioning it. It's like, oh, well, he should just be happy. Even this person's just like, oh, it must be his libido. Or maybe it's the fact that you've had this child. Like, it can't be that OP's pressuring him too much. Oh God, I don't know how I'd feel about that if I was being hounded. I really don't know how I'd feel. Let me know what you guys think about this one. Because there's many different theories about it. And some people think that he's cheating on OP, and that's why he doesn't want to have sex with her. Other people think that it's about his libido, and that's what it is. Some people think that he's jealous of OP because she's now the attractive one. Although OP never said that her husband was more attractive than she was. She never said that in the post, like that he was like super handsome and was always the one getting attention or something. So I can't see it being that, but it could be maybe that he doesn't like that she's getting attention now. I don't know. It's weird. This one's weird. I just feel like the sex drives are different. She has a high one, he has a low one. But I do want to say, like, OP wanting to open up this relationship and have threesomes or whatever. Like, this sounds like she knows who she wants to have, passionately hug, right? And I think that it's that worker that she's talking to at work. I think it's the guy at work. The one she's going, oh, you know, I've lost all this weight and look how good I look. My husband won't sleep with me. Can you understand why he wouldn't want to sleep with me? And the worker's like, no, I totally don't understand why he wouldn't want to sleep with you. Like, I totally would sleep with you. And that's like why OP wants to open the relationship, because she wants to hook up with this worker. Please let me know, guys, down below, if you think that OP wants to hook up with this worker, the person that she works with, this male co-worker, the one that she keeps telling that her husband isn't sleeping with her. Which is super inappropriate work talk, by the way. Like, of all the things that you should talk about, or not talk about at work, I feel like going up to your co-workers and going, my husband won't screw me, that's one of the ones you probably shouldn't talk about. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching the video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.